You know, every restaurant is a buffet if you're willing to pay, especially here in Las Vegas, the all-you-can-eat capital of the world. Hello friends, it's me, Shin, and I'm on a quest to vlog every restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip as well as downtown on Fremont Street. I'm 168 in, and this week for number 169, I'm coming to you from the Mandalay Bay inside the Four Seasons Hotel, where I'm going to be showing you Bourbon Steak. Really happy to have you along. I'll see you inside. All right, everyone, and here I am seated at Bourbon Steak at the Four Seasons in Las Vegas. Now, the Four Seasons Hotel is connected to the Mandalay Bay, and you can reach it through the lobby. And if you make your way down to the first floor, Bourbon Steak is located right next to the Veranda restaurant, a handful of steps away from the lobby. An absolutely stunning restaurant here. It's modern and chic, but still has an ode to the classics. Nice tan leather booths, as well as standard tables and chairs for seating, a full-service bar, and very dim, moody lighting. But the upbeat music certainly makes for a nice atmosphere. Great vibes in here. Now, regardless of the vibes, you know it's all about the food for me, so let's take a look at what they have to eat on the menu. So we'll start here with the alcohol menu here at Bourbon Steak, the beverage menu. Here are your cocktails. Feel free to take a pause in the video if you'd like to take a closer look at these drinks. You got your martinis, a Negroni here, all about 20 bucks. Collection of classics, your Manhattans. You've got a single barrel old fashioned here as well. And a couple of non-alcoholic selections. All looking really good. Here is your beer. Looks like about 8 or 9 bucks for your beers. And here is your spirit list. Your vodkas, your rums, and your gins. On the next page, we have your tequilas, your mezcals. Really nice looking. Here is your whiskey list. Bourbon Steak. I imagine they have a pretty nice selection of bourbon here. And you have your rye, your Japanese whiskey, as well as your Irish. Your worldly spirits here. Your Scotch and your brandy. And then we have a bittersweet symphony. All right, so I believe these are potentially some wine by the glass. And that is your list here at Bourbon Steak. Now they also have a really large wine menu here. I'll look at adding that toward the end because it can get a little monotonous. Let's take a look at what they have to eat next. So here is the menu at Bourbon Steak, starting with what looks like some seafood up top here, shellfish, caviar, as well as stone crab claws. All that looking really nice. And then here are your appetizers. Looks like a black truffle bread, as well as onion soup. That always is good for me. Michael Mina's tuna tartare. Okay, so he's gonna put his name next to it. It has to be good. Persimmon raviolis. That sounds really awesome. And a truffle treat. It looks like a black truffle agnolotti here. An agnolotti here. Yeah, looking really good. Let's flip the page on over, and then this is where we get to the grill. We've got some simply grilled there on the left, salmon, ribeye, New York strip, as well as the Wagyu steaks on the right. Here are some accompaniments for those steaks. Béarnaise sauce, red wine demi, chimichurri, and the like. And let's see here, we've got some Bourbon Steak classics, a Maine lobster pot pie, a bourbon flame tomahawk, Mary's free range whole roasted chicken. Oh, all of that sounds excellent. Here is your fish as well as your farm and flock, short rib, duck breast, sea bass, and big-eye tuna. Here is your side list as well. Onion rings, looks like some cream spinach, a spinach souffle also. All looking really good. And that's your menu here at the Bourbon Steak. That's a really good looking menu here and a lot I'm looking forward to trying today. And you know how it goes in my videos, every restaurant is a buffet if you're willing to pay. I'm gonna get a nice variety and together we're gonna see what Bourbon Steak here in Las Vegas is all about. Appetizers are coming up first. I'll see you a little bit when they arrive. Okay, actually scratch that. Before we get to the rest of the appetizers, we just got served some fry service, not bread service, fry service. Let me give you a video. This is a trio of duck fat French fries, a truffle French fry, a garlic parmesan French fry, as well as a smoky French fry, served with a garlic aioli, ketchup, as well as a barbecue sauce. Looking really tasty to start, let's give them a try. First off, the truffle fry with garlic aioli. We'll give it a bit of a dip here. Looks beautiful. Let's see how it is. Oh yeah, that's tasty. Excellent French fry here. A wonderfully airy, crispy texture with a super pillowy center. The middle of these French fries are like clouds. I actually love the texture. A nice richness coming from that duck fat, and very lightly seasoned, allowing you to appreciate the flavor of the potato. These are definitely truffle French fries, and while they're using a truffle oil, it's not all that overpowering. You can certainly taste the potato still. I actually really like these. The garlic aioli here is very creamy, nice amounts of garlic flavor, adding a nice accent flavor to these fries. Oh, really nice start with those. Next up, the garlic parm fries. These came along with ketchup. We'll give it a bit of a dip. Let's see how these are. Oh yeah, those are good. I sing the same praises about the French fries here. Nice and crispy, nice potato flavor, seasoned well. Perfectly good duck fat French fries here. A nice amount of garlic parmesan on these fries, a bit of a floral note to that, and you do get a very straightforward sweetness with this ketchup, helping to balance out a little bit of that pungent garlic. This is a nice fry here as well. Now the last fry to try is the smoky version. Now these fries came with a barbecue sauce. We'll give it a dip, and we'll give it a taste. I think that's my favorite of the three. Lots of really great flavors with this particular combo. Again, the cook on the fry is fantastic, but they do have a nice smoky seasoning blend here, working very well with the French fry. And there's a nice sweet tangy flavor coming from that barbecue sauce, but a nice woodsy element to it as well. You can really tell that bourbon has been introduced and cooked down into the sauce. It tastes great. While I do typically love bread service at my steak dinners, honestly, nothing wrong with some fry service. I like that just fine. All right, everyone, now I'm joined by my sister and brother-in-law today, so we're going to continue enjoying these fries, and I'll see you a little bit when those appetizers actually arrive. And welcome back, everyone. My appetizers just got here, and this is looking really good. Let me give you a view. Now we got the tuna tartare, as well as the truffle treat, persimmon raviolis, onion soup gratin, and their black truffle bread. This is all looking really tasty. Let's give them a try. I'm gonna kick things off with the truffle bread. Now I got the bread because I didn't know they had bread service, but they have fry service, but that ain't gonna stop me from enjoying a good loaf. Let's see how this is. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh, this is an excellent brioche loaf. A very nice bake to that exterior. Perfectly browned, relatively soft, not too crisp, with a beautiful chewy bread center. This brioche loaf is buttery and sweet on its own. Even without the additional truffle and salt, the bread on its own tastes great. Introduce that additional butter, truffle, and salt though, and the flavors really go off into the next level. A nice earthy, pungent flavor coming from that truffle, and the salt and butter definitely help to accentuate that taste as well. It may be a little bit on the heavy side. It is quite buttery, but honestly, it tastes great. A very nice bread there. Next up, the onion soup. A beautiful onion soup here. Very nice toasted cheese on the top, and I've got a nice big spoonful here. Here's the onion soup. Oh, that is so good. Excellent French onion soup here at the Bourbon Steak. The crouton on the top has been toasted perfectly. A wonderful crisp to that, even soaking up all of the soup. It's been able to maintain that crunch. Wonderful job on that. The cheese is melty with a beautiful mild salty flavor and a really great brulee job. Nice toasty element on that cheese. The onion soup here is fantastic. Much thicker than other onion soups I've had. The flavor matches the consistency, thick and very hearty. You absolutely get the nutty sweetness of the caramelized onions here. But this soup is so much more savory than others I've had. There's a bit of a dry flavor coming from some red wine that's been reduced here, and it's been expertly seasoned. Perfect amount of Worcestershire sauce has been introduced, just the right amount of tang to really help elevate the flavors. This has to be one of the best onion soups I've had in a very, very long time. Huge fan of the onion soup. I'm definitely coming back for this one. Next up, the persimmon raviolis. As soon as I saw this on the menu, I knew I had to try it. It sounded very, very unique. And now seeing it in front of me, I'm even more intrigued. Hopefully it tastes good. Let's give it a try. Oh yeah, that is tasty. A very unique appetizer here. I wasn't exactly sure what to expect, but the persimmon itself is the pasta skin. Slightly dehydrated and cooked down. While it has a bit of a firmness to it, it is quite soft. Very reminiscent of al dente pasta. A slightly muted but nice fruity sweetness is coming from that persimmon skin. That is very nice. The stracciatella cheese inside is so good. Stracciatella cheese is effectively a mozzarella that's been soaking in cream, and so it's very rich, but incredibly creamy. It's been seasoned well. You actually get a very nice floral note from basil and a nuttiness from some pistachios here. There's a yuzu vinaigrette foam that's actually adding a nice little bit of citrus. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting, but I'm enjoying it very much. I love the creative appetizer there. That was good. Next up, the truffle treat. Now this was their big signature appetizer. It was highlighted in the menu, and there certainly is a very nice aroma coming off of this. Let's see how it is. Oh yeah, that's really good. Oh, this is a very tasty appetizer. Starting with the agnolotti, a bit of a softer pasta here, certainly past al dente, but it has been able to retain its shape and hold the burrata cheese filling inside. That cheese filling is so good. A nice mildly flavored and creamy cheese. It's been well salted, a nice salinity there. The agnolotti on its own is actually quite delicious. This white truffle butter sauce that these agnolottis are swimming in is really good. It's creamy, it's buttery, has a bit of an earthy flavor from that truffle, and it really helps to push that burrata cheese filling even further. Loving the shaved black truffle on the top here. You can really appreciate good truffle flavor when it's shaved like this as opposed to an extracted oil, and the truffle flavors remain present from the sauce all the way through that shaved truffle. This is just really good. A very rich but very tasty appetizer. I like that one. All right, everyone. Now the last appetizer I'm trying today is going to be Michael Mina's tuna tartare. I imagine because he put his name next to this, it has to be good. Served alongside some toast. I've got a nice little spread here. Let's see how it is. Oh, yeah, that's good. Nice tuna tartare here. Starting with the tuna itself, incredibly fresh. Perfect texture and nice firmness to this tuna. It makes for a very satisfying bite. The tuna itself is mild, but there's some very refreshing tastes here, primarily coming from the mint and the Asian pear. A very light acidity coming from that Asian pear, and along with that mint, I actually really like how cooling those flavors are. The cooling is necessary because there are some spicy elements here. Not only are there some chilies here, but there is a little bit of kick coming from the sesame oil that's been applied. And while I do mention the heat, I wouldn't necessarily say this is a spicy dish. The pine nuts actually provide a nice accent flavor, and the toast here is working well as a nice little base. This is a solid tuna tartare. A nice little end to the appetizers. That was good. All right, everyone. Now that's all the appetizers I'm trying today. My sister, brother-in-law, and I are going to continue working on this, and we'll do our first round of entrees. Don't go, I'll be right back. Okay, actually, scratch that. Before we go to the first round of entrees, the kitchen actually sent out a complimentary caviar Twinkie. This is actually looking really good, and they mentioned it's one of their favorites, so I'm looking forward to trying this. Let's see how it is. Oh, that is excellent. I'm really liking this caviar Twinkie. Wow. I'll start the analysis with the Twinkie itself. It's something like a sweet corn cake. Slightly dense, very buttery, but there's a definitive sweetness coming from some natural corn flavors here. It's very good. And while it has just a slight crisp to the outside, it's soft and cakey in the center. There's a delicious yuzu creme fraiche in the middle of this Twinkie. It's silky, it's smooth and rich, with a little hint of acid and citrus from that yuzu. That is really great. Loving the briny accent flavor coming from that caviar. Yeah, this appetizer strikes a really great balance between salty and sweet. Huge fan of the caviar Twinkie. That's really worth getting. All right, my friends, now that's actually going to do it for the appetizers. We're going to continue enjoying this, and I'll see you a little bit when our entrees arrive. And welcome back, everyone. My first round of entrees just got here. This is looking so good. Let me give you a view. I got their Maine lobster pot pie, as well as Mary's free-range whole roasted chicken, their Faroe Island king salmon, and an order of onion rings. Oh, this is looking super tasty. Let's give it a try. Now, the first dish I absolutely must try is this lobster pot pie. Now, the pot pie comes to the table in a form factor you would recognize. However, it's deconstructed once it gets there. The top of the pot pie ends up serving as a bottom layer, and then this entire Maine lobster is placed on top, along with all of the beautiful root vegetables and that wonderful looking gravy. I was salivating quite a bit as this was being constructed. You would not believe the smell coming off of this. And I've got a nice big forkful here. Let's give it a try. That is delicious. Oh boy, I am in love with this lobster pot pie. All of the elements are working perfectly. This is really good. The pie crust itself is so marvelously flaky and buttery. Even submerged in all this gravy, it's been able to retain a bit of that crisp. This flaky texture is to die for. It's such a fantastic pie crust. The lobster in this lobster pot pie is truly magnificent. It's the perfect texture. It's soft and tender. It's not chewy or stringy. And the natural briny sweet flavors of that lobster is front and center here. This is definitely one of the better Maine lobsters that I've had recently. The flavors are so robust. The gravy is something like a very thick and tasty lobster bisque. It's buttery, it's garlicky, it's rich, beautifully seasoned. It has just a hint of kick to it as well. There's just so much flavor in this gravy, it's magic. You do get a nice earthy flavor from these root vegetables here. This is really wonderful. I am in love with this lobster pot pie. It is super good. Let's keep the seafood theme going. Next up is the salmon. Now this is their simply grilled Faroe Island king salmon. It's been cooked to the chef's specifications, mid-rare, and I've got a nice big fork full. Let's give it a taste. Oh yeah, that's good. This is a textbook prepared salmon here. The quality of the fish is already outstanding. The flesh of the fish is firm, it's moist, a wonderful mild sweet flavor, with a very enjoyable flaky texture in the center. This is a great salmon fish. It's been seasoned simply but generously. You've got a really good tasting salmon here. And you do get a bit of a smoky flavor here coming from that char or the grill marks. I wouldn't say this is anything super unique, just prepared well from a very good cut of fish. That was some enjoyable salmon, I like that. Next up, I'm gonna go in on Mary's chicken. Now you effectively get the whole bird with Mary's roasted chicken, and it's served in some kind of a jus. It smells great. Let's see how the chicken is today. Oh, that is very good. Oh, this is a fantastic chicken dish. I'm really liking this. The cook on this chicken is superb. Probably one of the best cooks on a chicken I've had. The chicken is so tender, it's so juicy. The chicken itself has been well brined. You certainly don't have any bland chicken meat here. I'm really liking this chicken. Two distinct flavor profiles are making themselves known here. Now one is the Espelette lemon butter. A nice bright citrus along with that rich buttery flavor is working really well with this chicken. It's very good. The other major flavor profile here is coming from a caramelized onion chicken jus. It's incredibly fortified, very deep in flavor. If you can concentrate the flavor of chicken as well as add additional savory notes, that's what's present here, and it really enhances the overall taste of the dish. That jus has a nice nutty sweetness from those caramelized onions as well as a deep savory flavor. This dish just tastes so good. Really well seasoned and tender chicken meat along with this beautiful jus is working very nicely together. Big fan of the chicken today. That was really excellent. All right, everyone, now the last bite that I'm trying from this first round of entrees is gonna be the onion rings. Now these onion rings are served along with a sauce. We'll give it a little bit of a dip here. And now I don't recall the first time I tried onion rings at a steakhouse, but I've really liked them ever since I started. So let's see how these are here at Bourbon Steak. Oh yeah, you know what, not bad. You know, these are pretty decent onion rings here. The batter has been infused with a fair amount of beer, and so you definitely have a little bit more of an airy, crispy batter, likely being developed through the yeast in that beer. While you can taste the beer in the batter, I would say that the flavors are actually relatively muted. I've had a much more poignant beer flavor in onion rings in the past, and I think I would appreciate that a little bit more here. Now you do get a nice sweetness from the onion in the center. However, I think in general these could be just a little bit better seasoned. The batter is just a tad on the bland side today. Now this is served along something like a ranch sauce. While it is relatively cooling and rich and creamy, there's an element of something maybe like horseradish providing just a little bit of kick on the back end. I actually do like this ranch dressing. All in all, I would say these still come together pretty well. But personally, I would like it if the onion rings tasted a little bit better on their own without that sauce. All right, everyone, now that's gonna do it for all of the dishes from this first round of entrees. We're gonna continue working through this, box a lot of it to go because we're gonna do another round of food. I mean, it is a steakhouse, we gotta have a steak dinner, right? I'll see you in a little bit when that arrives. Don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. And welcome back, my friends. Now my next round of entrees just got here. This is looking really good. Let me give you a view. I got their bourbon flame tomahawk as well as their spinach souffle and an order of their whipped potatoes. So excited to go in on these. Let's give them a try. Now you know I have to go in on this tomahawk steak to start. Now this is Bourbon Steak's classic bourbon flame tomahawk. Now initially it comes completely encrusted in salt. There's a hay infusion in the salt, and when it's brought out to the table, they apply a flaming bourbon sauce. After the presentation, they do take it to the back, let it rest, and serve it up for you with some sides. And we asked for the steak prepared medium rare. It looks perfectly cooked to temperature. Steak time. Oh yeah, that's good. Now this is a tasty steak with the really great developed flavors. The crust here is fantastic. A slightly crispy edge to that crust. The crust is just where a lot of the flavor is at. That salt casing is not just for show. For those who might remember chemistry and biology, when you have uneven salt distributions between a membrane, osmosis takes over to create equilibrium between the two. And so effectively what you're doing is pulling out the additional moisture from the beef, helping to concentrate the flavors, especially in that crust. The salt also deeply infuses into the meat, helping provide some really good flavors. In addition to the salinity, you also get get a bit of that smoky flavor infused into the steak from the hay that was included in that salt bake. A relatively tender steak, although I wouldn't exactly say melt in your mouth, but certainly a far throw from chewy, a nice deep, beefy, robust flavor also. A great start to the steak. I really like that. Now the steak is served alongside a red wine demi-glaze sauce. We'll pour some onto the steak here. Let's see how this tastes. Oh yeah, it's tasty. A very tasty red wine demi-glaze here. Slightly savory with a nice amount of tang. And just a little bit of a dry flavor from that red wine reduction. It is nice. Certainly helps provide some accent flavor to the steak. This is a good sauce accompaniment for the tomahawk. Nice little sauce right there. Next up, fondant potatoes. Now these potatoes came as a side with the tomahawk steak. And I've got a nice little bit on the fork here. Let's see how the potatoes are. Oh yeah, those are good. Very tasty fondant potatoes. The potatoes are perfectly cooked, fork tender, soft throughout. With a crispy exterior, they have a perfect shallow fry on these. The potatoes themselves have a nice starchy flavor, and they haven't masked it too much with anything. Steak and potatoes certainly always go well together, and I'm really liking these fondant potatoes here. A nice little side to be included with the steak. Next up, tomatoes. These tomatoes also came included with the tomahawk steak, and they look like they're topped with some kind of breadcrumb. Let's give them a taste. Yeah, not bad. You have a softly cooked tomato here. It's very soft all the way throughout, borderline mushy. I personally wish there was a little bit more texture. The natural sweetness of the tomato is very bright though, especially given the more savory flavors on this steak dish. Having a little bit of that natural sweetness is very nice. I was expecting just a little bit of crisp from those breadcrumbs on top. Unfortunately, they don't have all that much texture, but the breadcrumbs have been nicely seasoned, a little bit of a garlicky flavor there. Taste-wise, it's actually pretty good. If the texture was a little bit less mushy, I think I'd like that a lot more. Next up, the spinach souffle. Now this was their highlighted side, and I've never had a spinach souffle before, but it certainly looked interesting. Let's see how it tastes. Oh yeah, it's good. This is a very interesting recipe, not exactly what I was expecting. Now the texture of the souffle is perfection. Super fluffy and airy. It's actually very satisfying to eat. I really appreciate the cook on this souffle. Now flavor-wise, I couldn't exactly tell you that you can taste the spinach. The only real spinach aspect I see here is the color of the souffle. But now that said, it is a relatively good tasting souffle. The souffle itself is not too buttery. It does have a nice light nutty flavor. Though truth be told, I was expecting something just a little bit more unique here in terms of flavor. Now that said, they do pour a bacon cream sauce inside the souffle, and that is where a lot of the flavor is coming from. A smoky salinity coming from that bacon sauce, as well as a rich buttery nature also. I'd say that's where the majority of the flavor comes from, and a flavorful bacon cream like that is certainly enjoyable. I think I was expecting something just a little bit different, but honestly, this is a pretty solid size. All right, everyone, now the last bite that I'm trying from our entrees tonight is going to be the whipped potatoes. This is the other side that I got along with that spinach souffle, although given that we had fondant potatoes, maybe I should have tried something else. But I always can appreciate a good mash. Let's see how they are here at Bourbon Steak. Oh yeah, that's good. Really solid potato puree here. Silky smooth, incredibly creamy, as well as superbly buttery. Definitely some very heavy whipped potatoes here. You're going to be taking a long nap if you were to eat this entire serving. But these have been seasoned well, and you do get the starchy flavor of the potato, though it's definitely sharing your palate with a lot of butter. This potato puree is effectively what you're kind of expecting from a steakhouse, and they are good. A nice little way to end out the meal tonight. All right, my friends, now that's all of the food that I'm trying today. My sister, brother-in-law, and I'm going to continue working on this. Pox a lot of it to go because we're starting to get pretty full. And then we'll do some dessert next. Don't go anywhere because sweets are coming up. All right, everyone, now all of the food is done, packed up and ready to go, so it's time for some sweets. Let's take a look at the dessert menu together. So here is your dessert menu at Bourbon Steak. Let's take a look. Warm beignets and dipping custards to start. You've got a banana tarte tatin, a Basque cheesecake, as well as a, what is this? Root beer float on the rocks. That sounds really interesting. And then it looks like their highlighted dessert here is the bourbon flambé chocolate fondue. Candy bar, bourbon, yeah, this is all looking really good. Tea pastries, yeah. Here's your dessert menu at Bourbon Steak. Some tasty looking dessert options here at Bourbon Steak. I'm gonna go get my order in, but for all of you at home, I'm gonna make that appear right now. All right, everyone, and here it is. This is Bourbon Steak's root beer float on the rocks. You've got effectively a goblet here filled with root beer and what looks like gold flakes and much more. You also have some chocolate chip cookies at the bottom. And I must admit, I am super full, but there's always a little bit of room for some dessert, right? Let's activate the dessert stomach. Give this a try. Oh yeah, it's tasty. It's an interesting dessert because I know what I want out of a root beer float, and it's giving me that plus more. The flavors here are so much more robust than you're expecting in your typical root beer float. The sassafras ice cream has such a poignant licorice-like flavor. It is still sweet and creamy, but you get a little bit of that anise-like taste. Borderline medicine-y when it comes to that flavor, but it's actually very good. The IBC root beer here is made with real cane sugar, and so you don't get any of that unnatural sweetness. It's actually much more palatable here. You do have a nice chocolate layer along with some crushed walnuts, providing some sweetness as well as some nuttiness respectively. And while I see gold flakes, I don't taste gold flakes. You know that's just for show and to make yourself feel a little better about yourself. Now it does come along with some cookies. So I'm gonna take the cookie and we'll give it a little bit of a dip here. See if we can soak up some of that root beer flavor. Let's see how these are. Oh, that's tasty. I don't necessarily think I needed to dip the cookie into the root beer float because that actually muddled the flavors a little bit. And that's because the cookie on its own is actually just very good. You have a walnut chocolate chip cookie here, and the cookie itself is nice and sweet, super soft, and you actually do get the nuttiness of the walnuts here. You have something like dark chocolate chips, so the flavor is a little bit less of that in-your-face sweetness, and you get to taste that cocoa just a little bit deeper here. A very nice cookie and a very nice root beer float. A fun, enjoyable dessert, that one. All right, everyone, now that's going to do it for my dinner here at Bourbon Steak within the Mandalay Bay's Four Seasons. All the food in the video today came out to just over $900 before tip, though taking a closer look at this, I guess you don't get free refills on soda. Now, I really liked all of the appetizers today, although I'd say the black truffle agnolotti, as well as the onion soups were my favorite, but I would come back for any of the appetizers any day. From that first round of entrees, both the lobster pot pie and the chicken were excellent. It's not often that I have chicken that good. I did enjoy my dry tomahawk steak, and that root beer float dessert was quite inventive and flavorful as well. Now, if you're staying here at the Four Seasons or you've been interested in Bourbon Steak here, hopefully this video has been informative for you. All right, everyone, now that's going to do it for this week's video where I continue my quest to vlog every restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip as well as downtown on Fremont Street. Make sure you come back next Saturday as I continue to add to my collection. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic week, and I hope you enjoy Vegas with me, Shin. Bye.